And guess what? We're live. What do it do, YouTube? This is your boy, Mania. That guy right there, that's whoever the fuck cares. No,
Yeah.
that's my man.
Right
That's
there.
my man Frank. Yeah, this is how we salute each other, by the way. So, uh, anyway, welcome to the very first episode of the what am I calling this show? Uh, the Superstar.
Super series, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Look, we got to get off on a better foot here, Frank. You and I started off kind of rocky. We got to get off on a better foot here. And I'm not just saying that because you need to put socks on. But like I said, welcome to the very first episode of the Superstar Pieces. And today we're going to be discussing Brock Lesnar, his WWE only career. As you can see, he's got some DVDs.
Well, of course, I ain't here to talk no UFC. Like I said, I ain't a fight fan. We ain't gonna talk his UFC career. I'm
Before
not a fight fan.
before we get started, there's a couple of things that I want to say. Number one, I just want to say, fuck Amber Heard. I'm glad that bitch lost. She deserved to lose. Fuck her. Anyway, um, secondly, if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button down below. We have done research and our analytics show that more people who are not subscribed watch our videos than those that are subscribed. So let's flip that. Like I said, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we upload new content. We upload new content all the time. Next thing I'm going to say, shout out to Chick-fil-A. They're the goats. And also, I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. I know I sure did. On Monday, I went to my buddy's house because he had a barbecue. Which Frank, funny story. Um, I get in this car because he's picking me up, and I get in this car. He tells me, he's like, "Oh, by the way, my parents, they don't know they're doing this barbecue. They don't know anything."
Right, you told me that, yeah.
I'm like, what? Store because we had to buy stuff for the barbecue. You got to buy buns and hot dogs and burgers and all that good stuff. And I didn't eat a damn thing while I was there. By the way, um, I drank a lot, but did not eat a lot. But and Frank can attest to that because if I think Frank, you saw me kind of tipsy. Uh,
A little bit, yeah. Cause you were calling me like all day too.
yeah,
We talked at least 3 times that day.
yeah, I had a couple of
Yeah.
Coronas and a couple of those White Claws. Those White Claws are really good, by the way. And yeah, it was a good time. And then yesterday, uh, I went to the casinos. I went to Blackhawk up here in Colorado. They're up in the mountains.
Right.
It's a pretty long drive. It's
Yeah.
worth it. It's worth it if you like to gamble and all that stuff. So we went up there. I went up there with $100, and I walked out with $20. So walked away with something. You know what I mean?
You gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
That's true. That's true. And at
You
one,
don't know when to fold them.
it was crazy, Frank. At one point, I was playing. I was playing machines. I was down to $1.99. Right to my name. I had like $1.99. I'm like, oh shit. No, I'm sorry. I told a lie. I had 99 cents, not $1.99. I had 99 cents. I was like, oh fuck me, right? I'm like, well, shit, because I'm not walking away with nothing. I'm like, but wait a minute, there's a game here that I could play that's only 25 cents a play. So I just started
Right.
playing that, and the one time I played it, I got like 18 free spins off of that. I'm like, oh, and I made like $12 off of those 18 free spins. So
That's pretty
then
good.
I'm like, I play some more, and I made an extra $8, and I'm like, you know what? Let me stop there at $20. Let me walk away with something.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Black. Oh, then we ate at a buffet, which don't eat at the Monarch Casino buffet, folks. It's not that great. Their pizza's all dried out. I had their mac and cheese, which To me, it seemed like regular mac and cheese, but then it looked
Right.
like regular mac and cheese, but then you go eat it, and it's got like this jalapeno like flavor in it, and you're like, okay, nope, not touching that one again. So,
Yeah.
anyway, shout out to that. And then of course, I had a couple more drinks yesterday. I had like 3 beers. Um,
Mm.
it was fun. It was
My
cool.
Memorial Day, I actually decided to get a little bit into the current product, and I actually checked out night one of WrestleMania, and I gotta say that was damn good. It was
Yeah,
damn good,
it's
man.
18 night too.
Uh,
You'll be like, oh,
uh, I the so again, I haven't seen much of the current product. I really haven't watched a weekly show since at least WWE wise since 2021, like literally right before the Royal Rumble.
yeah,
But I've seen clips of the whole Happy Corbin thing, and I've seen just the video package they did before his match at Mania. That was tremendous character development. That was really good. And Corbin, I've always been a fan of his, man. Maybe not in NXT early on because I didn't really, he was new though, so it's like you kind of get used to that. I had that same feeling with Roman Reigns too early on because it was like the guy's brand new, don't really know much about him, but as time went on, I became a big fan of both of them, and yeah, Corbin's one of the best things going right now in WWE with that whole Happy Corbin gimmick, where he was down in the dumps, and I forgot what they were calling him when they had him losing all of his money and everything, and they're not even letting him in the building.
bad. No, not bad. What? Hang on, I'll tell you what it was. Give me 1 second. So I gotta pull up that song and I gotta play whenever you say some bullshit.
Just wait until I get my point out to actually
Yeah,
play
yeah,
it,
yeah.
because you always do that like when I'm right in the middle of saying something.
Broken Corbin.
Okay, yeah. When he was broken Corbin, he's all down in the dumps, and uh, he turned so he gets to essentially now he's like a rich man and he's on top of the world and he's running with Mancat Moss, right? I don't know if he still is because I know that dude. Yeah, that dude got hurt, right?
Madcap? No, he's fine. I think.
Okay, so are they still together as a group?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
Wow, you are
okay.
really out of the freaking loop, man. Damn.
Like I said, I haven't watched since 2021, right before the Rumble.
The SmackDown after WrestleMania, uh, Corbin turned on Madcap Moss.
Oh, okay, okay,
So Madcap
nice.
is now a baby face.
Oh, okay,
And
that
Corbin,
can work definitely.
and they're feuding.
Yeah.
So
So
they
yeah, I love what they did with what they have done with from what I've seen with Happy Corbin. Stone Cold's return was flat out tremendous. People, I'm sure all the we want wrestling type of people say, "Oh, he was too slow. He's lost a step." Blah blah blah. He still can get a crowd to go absolutely nuts for him, and we saw that on that night. The match with Kevin Owens was fun. It to me was a match of the night, and that's saying something. Just on that night, night one, because I haven't seen night two yet, but that's saying something because there was a lot of great stuff on night one. Cody's return was phenomenal. The match with Rollins was great. Only two matches I didn't really care for were Charlotte against Ronda in that opening tag match. The opening tag match was a little short. I'm a big Charlotte fan. She's one of the best heels in the business today. But yeah, I wasn't feeling that match with Ronda.
Hey, we got somebody in the chat. So, or we did anyway until you talked him out of the chat. Shout out to Wes. He was in our chat. So, Wes, my man, shout out to you, Tobias Huntley Adventures. Shout out to you.
Yeah,
Uh,
what's up, Wes? We always know he watches.
he ain't
Wes and
more, but he was, and he said some comments. So he
yeah,
said
what?
he said Kirby High.
Who's
Okay,
Kirby?
I don't know. Um, And he said, "Damn, dude, Pepsi's better sponsor you. Pepsi, well, one of these companies I'm eating from, McDonald's or Chick Fil A, somebody. What's up, guy? and then good vibes take out. So yeah, that's us.
So yeah, shout out to Wes and Ron. They're like our two best viewers, two consistent viewers ever since we started. So shout out to them.
Let's
Uh, but
we
yeah, before we get into it, I'm going to this week. I'm gonna catch up a little bit on the current product, see if there's anything I like. I'm gonna watch this past week's Raw. I'm gonna watch tonight's AEW. I gotta check out NXT because I want to see what Toxic Attraction is up to. So yeah, I'm gonna give the current product another chance, and whatever I see from the this week, we will cover at some point on
on
the
Friday.
podcast.
Covered on Friday.
Yeah,
Anyway, let's get to the meat of the matter for why we are here. This is the very first episode of the what the hell?
Superstar Series.
It's a
Superstar.
superstar series, but it's like a superstar piece. That's
Yeah,
what I'm calling it. It's a superstar piece. Um, and today's superstar that we're going to be covering is Brock Lesnar. Now, before we discuss this guy, let's set some boundaries for this series. We don't if we're going to cover a WWE superstar, we're only talking about their WWE run. If we're doing WCW, we only talk about their WCW run. ECW, we only talk about their ECW run. Impact Wrestling, we'll do Impact only.
I mean, when it comes to ECW, I don't know how much I could cover on certain ECW. I don't watch that much ECW. In Impact, if we're talking like the current Impact product, I haven't watched Impact since like 2016 when
Wes
they
says the Bears. Yeah,
of course,
yes, the Cubs. He's very
it's not the Cubs.
nice Brock shirt, dude. Oh,
It
is that a Brock shirt right there, Frank?
is. It is.
Okay,
It's one of it. I think that's like his first shirt
it might.
from 2002. It says the next big thing on the back.
I don't have any Brock shirts, otherwise I would have worn one. But let's talk about Brock. Brock Lesnar debuted in 2000 in OVW, which I guess counts as part of WWE. At the
Yes,
time,
WWE's developmental.
yeah. So he debuted in 2000 in OVW, and he teamed up a lot with Shelton Benjamin. I believe they were OVW Southern Tag Team Champions 3 times.
Minnesota Wrecking Crew, I think was their name or something like that.
The Minnesota Stretching Crew.
Stretching Crew, right? Okay.
Yeah. I got the Wikipedia. I got the Wikipedia right up here. So Lesnar was gonna wrestle. Man, I can't speak all of a sudden. Lesnar wrestled several dark matches in 2001 and 2002 before being called up to the main roster. And then, of course, everybody knows how he debuted. He debuted in 2002, the night after WrestleMania 18, attacking all the hardcore wrestler guys. I'm talking Spike, Al Snow,
Maven. Yeah.
Maven, yeah, yeah, those three guys. Um, and then when brand extension was introduced, Lesnar was actually drafted to the Raw brand, not the SmackDown brand,
Yep.
but the Raw brand. Um, he got the nickname the next big thing.
Next big thing. Yep.
Paul Heyman was his manager, and his first feud was with the Hardy Boys, and he defeated Jeff Hardy by knockout after Hardy did not respond to referee Theodore Long, which is a funny thing to read as that referee Theodore Long.
Teddy Long was a referee for a long time.
Yeah,
No pun intended, long. But yeah, for a couple years in WWE, he was a ref long before he became the GM of SmackDown, talking about, hey, this is going to be a tag match. You're going to go 7-on-7 with the Undertaker.
yeah, and that was a match that took place at
I
Best.
like that you just. I love that you just totally no sold the 7-on-7 with the Undertaker.
Um, the next night on Raw after Backlash, 7-on-7 against the Undertaker. Oh, wait. Want me to sell it? Here's my selling.
Hey, it's Franklin.
I waited till you were done.
Yeah, you did. You did. Like I said, but I wasn't exactly giving a point.
Okay. Well, anyway.
When I'm actually giving a point, don't interrupt me with that song. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
It's funny, I get it, but when I'm in the middle of making a point, you're killing the point by hitting that. Hit it after I'm done.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Anyway, uh, so he faced the next night on Raw after Backlash. Lesnar faced off against Matt Hardy, beat him in the same fashion. He beat Jeff Hardy. Then we just spoke about this match. At
correcting me.
2002, Lesnar and Sean Stasiak lost to the Hardy Boys, uh, and Lesnar
Thanks to
got
that
everybody.
damn doctor.
I'm sorry.
Thanks to that damn doctor. He
Yeah.
didn't listen to Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar's demands. Stay on the apron.
We're gonna fast forward a little bit to King of the Ring. Um, he defeated Bubba Ray in the opening round tournament. In the opening round, I believe he was supposed to face Stone Cold in the opening round, but
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course,
That's where
yeah,
Austin walked out.
yeah,
Austin took his ball and went home.
yeah. Booker T he beat Booker T in the quarterfinals and then Test in the semifinals. And finally, to win the whole kit and caboodle, beat RVD and won a championship match at SummerSlam. Then a Vengeance, he lost to RVD in an Intercontinental title match. He lost by disqualification, so it kept him looking strong. Um, then he
And
beat.
that's when, yeah, that's where we get to Rock versus Brock, which was phenomenal. The build up to it
Mhm.
and the match itself was great.
Yeah, I remember a lot about that feud, Brock and Brock, the build up. It was really cool. Um, and then, of course, everybody knows that he would beat The Rock at SummerSlam to become champion and the youngest WWE champion at age 25. And then he became the second fastest professional wrestler to win the WWE title since his debut. Uh, Ric Flair was the only one to also do it. Um,
Uh, well,
and
Ric Flair was already a star when he came
yeah,
in. That's why.
yeah,
That's it's more impressive with Brock because Brock came in
with
and
no
literally like two as a as a rookie he debuts and literally like couple months later he's WWE champ. That's unheard of,
and then
especially in an era where you got Rock, Undertaker, uh, Triple H, from the very beginning of his day of his career, for a few months, you had Austin. Of course, he walked out. But look at all that talent, all that star power that was on the roster, and it only took Brock just a few months to when they put the belt on him. You saw right there, they had a lot of high hopes for Brock Lesnar.
yeah, and then of course with Brock winning the Universal, with Brock winning the undisputed championship, uh, he would make that title. He and Stephanie McMahon would make the championship exclusive to SmackDown.
At,
Um,
at the end of one of the Raws in August of 2002. This was in late August 2002. This was back when they had just started the brand extension shortly, about like a month before this, and you had Raw. Well, not a month before it, but they brought in the new GMs for each side. That was about a month before. You had Stephanie on SmackDown, Bischoff on Raw, so they were kind of trying to do a GM war between those two. So Stephanie came to Raw and said, "Well, hey, look at your champion. He's hopping into my limo and coming to my show." So yeah, that was a pretty cool ending to Raw that night.
and then
Um,
Brock would then enter into a feud with the Undertaker, uh,
yeah,
and they had a match at Unforgiven '02, which Brock Lesnar.
phenomenal.
Yeah, it was in a double. It ended in a double
It
disqualification.
was.
So,
Yep.
excuse me. So neither man retained, or neither man won nor lost. So they had another match.
Doesn't matter.
Mercy.
Yeah, that. Right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say they had a match at No Mercy, in a
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell match. This matchup was
Another
great,
great.
and I like the build up where the build up was about Undertaker's cast. Um, I like that. That was pretty cool. Um,
So, so for about a month in 2002, they hired Hank Hill to write to write the storylines on SmackDown. So Hank Hill, of course, said, "Well, to build up this Hell in a Cell match, let's have Brock Lesnar hit Undertaker in the hand with a propane tank." And that's what happened there. So,
did you
of
say
course,
Hank Hill?
yes, Hank Hill became the writer for SmackDown in October of 2002, and he
Okay,
said, "You know what we're gonna do? This is what we're gonna do. So we're building this Hell in a Cell match here. We're gonna have Brock Lesnar take a propane tank, and he's gonna hit the propane tank on Undertaker's hand." And that's when WWE was like, "This all this guy talks about is propane. He wants propane in every damn angle. Well, we'll do it here, but then after that, you gotta go because we can't do every angle around propane."
I'm just making sure. I was just making sure you and I were on the same wavelength with Hank Hill, because with you, when you said Hank Hill, that's where my mind went, was King of the Hill. So,
Yeah,
and
that's what
then
I meant.
so I'm
Propane.
listening, like, come on, say something to make me know, to let me know you're talking
Yeah.
about the same thing.
Oh,
So
I knew I had to explain it. I knew I
yeah,
had to explain it because I
yeah,
could tell you weren't getting the joke.
I really wasn't. I was like, Hank Hill, wait, Hank Hill, King of the Hill. I was trying to, yeah, okay,
But yeah, so that feud with Undertaker was one of his first uh more than a month really good feud because of course Rock Brock was only SummerSlam, but this one, yeah, the double disqualification finish at Unforgiven, which everybody hates. Oh my gosh, there needs to be a winner, and he needs to win clean, blah blah blah. Well, this was to set up Hell in a Cell. Both matches, in my opinion, were really good. I don't give a damn if there's no winner, if there's a dirty finish. Which, hey, you know me. If the heel wins, it should be dirty, in my opinion. But yeah, either way,
I agree with that.
I don't I don't care who wins a match. I really don't. The match itself was really good, really intense, and I love the ending after the double disqualification. Undertaker freaking throws Brock Lesnar right into the Unforgiven sign
Yeah.
and on the stage. And
Um.
then the Hell in a Cell at No Mercy was really good too. Um,
Real quick, I was going to say something, because you said you don't care, or you think that the heel should win
I do. I
cheating.
do.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Why
Also,
are they heels if they're winning clean?
and my other thing is, I'm sorry, but if you are cheering a heel, if you are cheering a bad guy, to
Yeah.
me, that means that that bad guy, that heel, isn't doing his job, because you're cheering him. His job is to
I,
get you to boo him.
I think that's what some of the fans today don't understand is like, oh, I love this guy. So when I go to the shows, I'm gonna cheer every little thing that he does.
Right?
No, if he's a heel and you are a fan of him, that's all cool. But
If
your
he's a heel, you're
job as
not doing his job as a heel because you're a fan.
right, but when you go to the shows, it don't matter what you do when you're not at the shows because you can be a fan of a guy and appreciate what he does. But when you go to the shows, you got to boo that heel. Show your appreciation by booing him, not by cheering him. I know that sounds weird, but that's the way it is when you're a heel. They want to get booed. They're supposed to get. And when you cheer a guy, I remember a couple years ago, AJ Styles. Remember AJ Styles and James Ellsworth were sort of involved in a feud, and AJ was heel at the time. He
Yeah.
would was beating the hell out of James Ellsworth to get heat, and the crowd's like, yeah, yeah, AJ, yeah. It's like, man, they're killing this. This is a great little scene right here, but they're killing it by cheering him. It's it.
Yeah.
I don't. You don't feel the emotion of the heel beating down the baby face when the fans are cheering it. It just feels weird in that situation.
Uh, exactly. Getting back to Brock here. Shut up, notes. Uh, I didn't have any notes. I opened the thing up on my computer. So we're at Undertaker. So he, Undertaker, then would defend the WWE Championship, against Edge in a handicap match. It was him and Brock, or
Brock, yeah,
Brock and
Brock.
Strowman against Edge, which they won, obviously. And then his next opponent was the Big Show, and as a result of him facing Big Show, uh, Brock turned babyface. They had a match at Survivor Series, um, and Paul Heyman turned on Brock Lesnar to align himself with the Big Show. And Big Show beat Brock for the championship. This was actually his first pinfall loss in the WWE. Um, and then,
So Survivor Series '02 was actually the final pay per view before I became a fan. I actually became a fan. I've said it before plenty of times on Thanksgiving in of 2002. So this was the month I became a wrestling fan, but it was like 2 weeks after the show. And Lesnar was the first guy I became a fan of. He was my childhood favorite. So yeah, he F5 the Big Show through the announce table at the end of that show,
yeah,
and I could not believe, as a 10-year-old, I could not believe what I was seeing. Like this 500-pound giant is getting picked up by one man and F5 through the table. Man, about Survivor Series though, 2002, that was a phenomenal show, man. The first elimination chamber, oh my gosh, that was
yeah.
amazing.
Hardcore,
The
man.
Yeah. Lesnar's title match that night was a little short, but I love the ending. You know, Heyman turning on Brock to join the Big Show. Now you got a nice little storyline of Brock chasing after Paul Heyman, and they make it even worse, or I should say even better, because they make the story even better by having Paul Heyman align himself with Kurt Angle after Kurt Angle won the title from Big Show at Armageddon, where he being Kurt Angle asked for Brock Lesnar's help in that night at Armageddon.
Yeah.
So they essentially messed with Brock, getting him to help them, and yeah, they also continued the angle of Brock trying to get Paul Heyman because Brock came out and kind of chased Paul Heyman to the bat, which led to Angle
Win.
getting the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Uh,
the next night, Team Angle debuted, and they revealed that Heyman is on Angle's side. Yeah, that was really good.
I got to clown my buddy here, Wes. I love you, man, but come on, Kanye West. You're sitting here listening to Kanye West, bro. I remember in the 6th grade, Wes, you would
Kanye,
to listen to rap, bro. You listen to Metallica and Korn and Slipknot and Pink Floyd, and now you're sitting here listening to Kanye West. West, come on, man. I was,
Kanye's first single, "When It All Falls Down," that was a banger. Say that was a banger.
I there are very few songs from Kanye I like. I like Gold Digger, I like Jesus Walks, and I like Heartless. And those are about the only Kanye songs I could really tolerate.
I bang so like I said, the first one, when it all falls down, amazing, flashing lights, Gold Digger's a good one. That's a classic.
Yeah,
What's the other ones you said? There was one other one you said that I
Jesus Walks.
also. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one too.
Okay,
See, people only hate Kanye because of his political views and all that shit. I could care less, man. He's an entertain. This is my thing with entertainers. I don't know them personally, so I
Exactly.
don't care what goes on in their personal life. And that's the
Well,
thing with Kanye. He gets hate because of stuff he says on Twitter, or because he's dating a Kardashian. In
yeah.
my opinion, dating the wrong one. Well, he was, but in my opinion, he was dating the wrong Kardashian. He should have got with Courtney. But yeah, shout out to Travis Barker, the lucky man that he is. But yeah, I don't really care about an entertainer's personal life.
Well,
Like,
well,
it
well.
doesn't
What
change
about
my
okay?
opinion on.
What about if it gets taken to court and the court is public? It's a public court situation.
I still don't care about that.
Okay.
I
Well,
really don't.
before we get back to Brock Lesnar, we're gonna take a little bit of an intermission here, and I'm gonna play you this song, Eminem. I hope YouTube doesn't clap us for this. Eminem.
If it's Eminem, they will. I'm telling you.
I'm sorry.
If it's Eminem, they will.
Well, hopefully they don't shut our stream down. But Eminem just dropped a new song. Wait.
I wouldn't do it. We've already had to deal with editing an episode because of getting clapped, and I don't want to go through that again.
Do something real quick here. See if it's safe. Who's this? So I'm not seeing anything about copyright stuff here. It doesn't say UMG or anything like that. So I think we'll be safe.
Okay.
Uh, hold up one second because I want to share my screen. Yeah. Go to system preferences. Open. System preference. Hang on, just once. Well, while I'm talking about, or while I'm trying to get this set up, why don't you go ahead and tell them a little bit about Brock Lesnar that we haven't talked about.
Well, before that, shout out to Ron, because Ron said earlier he wants me to discuss with you the Rock Roman Reigns rumors. I want to
No,
do that after this episode. At the end of this, when we're done talking about Brock's career, we got to do that. We got to do that at the end. But anyway, so we're essentially in January now with Brock's career because we covered Armageddon, we covered Team
Frank,
Angle's.
I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna see if you can hear this. Can you hear
Okay.
this? Can you hear it?
Yes, but I guarantee you, if you share the screen, we probably won't hear it because that's the way it always goes with these
Okay, well,
streams.
I'll just play the song and we'll kind of.
Yeah, just play the song.
So this song is called Jimmy, Brian, and Mike by Eminem. This is a song that was never released by Eminem until like last week. Uh, and it's old school Eminem and a little bit of new school Eminem in it.
I'm
Uh,
gonna share. I'm gonna share the link to this stream while you're doing that. While you're
go
playing
ahead.
that.
So here we go. This is the song. So you can hear sort of the contrast. You can hear the different eras of Eminem. You can hear the old school Eminem and the newer version of Eminem. You can clearly hear that here. I love that chorus, man. That chorus is fire. I love that chorus. And then Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike is obviously a reference to uh, uh, a boy band. That's not New Kids on the Block. New Edition. Here's a shout out to New Edition. That song is fire. It's called Jimmy, Brian, and Mike. If you guys want to go check it out. I'm waiting for my buddy. I'm waiting for my co-host, rather, a buddy. I'm waiting for my co-host to come back. There we go. Right there.
Yeah, I was here the whole time, but
Just kind of skipping
like,
out.
why is this thing doing that? What the hell?
What'd you do?
See, hang on.
Yeah.
Let me leave and come back. Hold on. This thing is so stupid.
I don't know what's going on with his computer, folks. He's on his phone. So, but yeah, hey, if you're new to the stream, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button to get notified when we upload new content. We upload new content weekly. Device not connected. There we go. Hopefully he's fixed it. Uh, hey Frank, you're back.
See, every time you leave the window and go to a different. Like I said, I was gonna share the link on the episode, so I left the window but stayed here. I could hear you talking and playing the song the whole time, but
Okay.
you couldn't hear me. So every time the stupid thing freezes you up when you leave the window, which makes absolutely no sense.
Well, for
I don't
you,
understand.
I'm going to leave the window right now. I'm off the window right now, and I'm not frozen or anything. Am I?
You're here.
I'm
You're
here.
are you on the? Well, you're on the laptop though. I'm on the phone. That's probably the thing.
You need to
Yeah.
upgrade. You need to upgrade.
Nah, I like it's better to do it on the phone.
Anyway, what'd you think of that song? By the way,
It was alright. It was nice. It was nice.
it was old school Eminem meets new school Eminem, and I love that chorus. I'm like, ooh! First time I ever heard that song, I'm like, that is flame. That is awesome. He has a whole bunch of songs off this new album, or off the. It's not a new album. It's the Eminem Show, but there's new songs that were recently released from that album
Right.
that were not released till now. Anyway, let's get back to Brock Lesnar here. Um,
So we're in January now.
we're in
The
both
Royal Rumble. So he's still got to deal with Team Angle and the Big Show. So which is Paul Heyman's little entourage. He's still
yep,
got to deal with them. He goes into the Royal Rumble, not even having a spot in the match yet. He opens the show against Big Show with a winner. Gets a spot in the Rumble.
yeah,
Decent match to open the show. Brock gets the win, and then first Kurt Angle of course beats Chris Benoit to retain the title, and
right.
then we move to the Rumble match itself. Brock enters, I believe, at 28, right?
Something like
And the final,
yeah, I
yeah,
thought 30. Hang on. Let me see.
either 28 or 27. 27's the big magic number for the Rumble. It might have been that.
I'll tell you what number he enters. He enters at number 29.
Oh, 29. Okay. So
Yeah.
he enters at 29. He's in the final four
Hell of a number
with
to enter, by the way.
Heyman. What?
Heck of a number to enter at, by the way, at number 29. I mean,
Yeah.
uh,
So
I'm gonna say this real quick. I love the final four in this Rumble. Do you remember the final four for the '03 Rumble?
I was just about to say there was Kane, Batista, Undertaker, Brock. Two from Raw, two from SmackDown. You got the Brothers of Destruction, of course. They tease a reunion where they're gonna
Yeah.
double team but either Batista or Brock, or probably both of them. They're probably gonna team up on both of them. And of course, after they form their alliance, Kane sort of lets his guard down. Undertaker grabs him,
Yep.
tosses him over the top. Batista, who I think actually Batista was already eliminated, so they were looking to double team Brock. So Batista comes back with a chair, tries to hit Undertaker with it.
Yeah.
Undertaker fights him off, throws him back out of the ring, and then Brock Lesnar sneaks up, throws Undertaker over the top. Brock Lesnar's going to WrestleMania, as JR said, putting it perfectly. This is gonna kill Kurt Angle. This is gonna kill the Big Show. This is gonna
Yeah.
kill Team Angle. This is gonna kill Paul Heyman. Here comes the pain,
And
straight to the main event at
he did
WrestleMania.
at WrestleMania 19. He defeated Kurt Angle to become WWE champion
But
once
hang on,
again.
before that, before that, they sort of ended they culminated the feud with Heyman, the whole getting revenge on Heyman thing, because
Hey
at
yo,
one at one SmackDown, at the
everything
end of
okay?
one Smack, yeah, that's just typical stuff outside. You can't imagine how many accidents. Seriously, you can't imagine how many accidents happen outside my house, because there's a terrible spot. I'd have to show you it. It's like people come down, zooming down here. They come down this way, and they all just get in the fucking accidents. It's crazy.
It's just typical New York stuff.
No, it's typical over here in this general area, because it's, yeah, I swear.
Oh, dang it.
There was no accident. There was no accident. Just people were honking at each
yeah.
other. You can actually hear it.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
about to
you
say
could
it
hear
ain't
it.
typical because I'll tell you right here, right now. We went up to we when we were going to Blackhawk yesterday, going
Yeah.
up and going down the mountain. It was raining both ways, and we didn't have any accidents. We didn't have anybody honking horns or nothing like that. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, they culminated the Brock Lesnar Paul Heyman feud. Uh,
Right, with Brock at the end of a SmackDown in March, shortly before WrestleMania, Brock got Heyman in a steel cage. I think this actually happened after the show. Remember, I have all the SmackDowns from '03. Some of them on blank. I have them on blank DVD. Some of them actually have the after the show stuff. And after the show, Brock Lesnar actually got his hands on Paul Heyman in a steel cage and F5'd him, and that was a big payback. I don't know if that happened after the show. I don't understand why they did that after the show because that was a pretty like
big moment.
sort of big. Yeah, like this is the guy who turned on Brock Lesnar after essentially getting him to the top, and like the payoff after him turning on Brock is happens after a show where nobody gets to see it unless they brought a ticket. I don't understand that.
And then
I could be
WrestleMania,
wrong though. I could be wrong though. I'll have to look that episode up again, see if it actually happened on the episode.
and then of course WrestleMania 19 happened, and he would defeat Kurt Angle to become WWE champion once again. During the match, he hit a shooting star press, didn't land properly, broke his neck. Actually, I think he damn near broke. I don't think he broke his neck. He nearly broke his neck. Um,
Kurt Angle was way too far out. He was legitimately across the ring. It was
yeah,
way too far out. Brock Lesnar can hit that shooting star. He did a couple times in dark matches, but when you're standing on this side of the ring and your opponent's literally all the way out here, like
yeah, it's
that's
not
not
good.
not even a cruiserweight can hit that.
Yeah.
Not even a
Uh,
cruiserweight can hit.
and then he won the championship. He would feud with John Cena for the title. Obviously, he would beat Cena at Backlash '03. Uh, and then after that feud with Cena, he would go on to compete against he would,
Big Show again.
Big Show.
We had a stretcher match.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
the feud with Cena essentially happened because before leading up to WrestleMania, they had Brock Lesnar use John Cena to send Kurt Angle a message. So shortly after John Cena, no, excuse me, John Cena. Shortly after Kurt Angle formed Team Angle and joined up with Paul Heyman, they had another memorable after the show moment. But this after the show moment, they would actually show the next week on SmackDown. So after a certain show, I think it was the exact night actually when Team Angle debuted. So they had Brock Lesnar beating down on Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle sort of fought back, but then Brock got the upper hand and picks up Brock Lesnar picks up Kurt Angle in the F5 right near the ring. Boom, leg right on the post, F5 them. So to send a message leading up to WrestleMania, he had John Cena in the ring or outside the ring actually, and he did the same exact thing to Cena, F5 right on the post, and so Cena missed some time after that too.
yeah,
Well, he wasn't on a couple of Smackdowns after that, so to of course sell the injury. He was at WrestleMania though. But anyway, after WrestleMania, it was kind of like, okay, now Brock, you got to pay for what you did to me. Your whole match with Angle's over. You're the champ, but now you got to pay back. Now payback's coming your way.
yeah.
Not yeah.
They feuded. They had a stretcher match. This happened
Big
because Raymond.
Brock.
This happened because Brock Lesnar. Or I'm sorry, because the Big Show at Backlash '03 beat Rey Mysterio, or Ray beat him, and then after the match, no, he beat Ray. He beat Ray, and then after the match, while Ray was on the stretcher, Big Show grabbed the stretcher and swung it against the post like a freaking baseball bat with Rey Mysterio on it. I'm telling you what, Frank. If he was a baseball player, he would have hit a freaking home run with that swing. That's how
He would
tough.
have looked. He would have looked like the Mets in Philadelphia, down 7-1 in the ninth inning. Was it? Shout out Ron. Shout out Ron. What a comeback, right, Ron?
Okay, that's not where I was going with that, but okay. Yes. That was a nice little swing by Big
Oh,
Show. So that's
yeah.
that's
Go,
the match happened. Um, and Brock would to go on to defeat the Big Show. Go
right.
ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, before we continue on that, I actually did this in the lost media episode of Unforgiven that never got uploaded because I didn't think we'd actually be filming on this exact day. But seeing that we are filming, I'm going to do it again. Shout out to my boy Johan Santana. Today's the 10-year anniversary, the first no hitter in franchise history. I cannot believe it's been 10 years. I still remember that night like it was yesterday. But yeah, shout out Johan. Cool moment yesterday at the game, having seeing, of course, the Mets through their second no hitter in franchise history earlier this year. I think if Ron is on here, maybe he can tell me who that was against. I forgot. Some team in Pennsylvania. I don't know. But anyway, they had a cool little picture.
Who it was?
They had a cool little picture where they had all five of the pitchers from that no hitter and James McCann, who was of course the catcher. Take a picture with Johan, Josh Tolle, who was the catcher of Santana's no hitter, and Terry Collins, who was the manager of Santana's no hitter. I don't know why Buck Showalter wasn't in that picture, but yeah, cool little picture yesterday, just celebrating the 10-year anniversary. But anyway, so moving on, Judgment Day. Now we get to Vengeance. Yes, the
Triple threat.
second.
Kurt, Brock,
Actually, yeah,
Big Show. Kurt Angle pinned, I believe he pinned Brock to win the
yeah,
championship.
yeah.
And this would open up, this would restart the feud between Kurt Angle and Brock, which would again turn Brock Lesnar into a heel. And they would feud for the championship for the next couple of months. Um,
So
Brock, Brock
Vengeance. Oh,
back at SummerSlam 2003. We'll talk about that build up on a future episode. Actually, I think we already talked about the build up
we
on our.
covered. Yeah, we covered SummerSlam.
Before you hit it
We
back,
of course.
just go watch that video. It's in our
Yeah,
archives.
and Vengeance 03 was our third episode. You can check that out. WrestleMania 19 was the original.
See, it's a
Check
good
that out too.
of these episodes, so we could just say, hey, if you want to hear all about that, go to this show.
Promote the episodes for anybody who might be watching and haven't seen them. Yeah.
Exactly.
There is a playlist, by the way. I did this a couple days ago. I set up a Flashback Friday playlist, all current 9 episodes. If we start doing a Superstar series more often, I'll start a playlist on that. But this is the.
Doing these weekly too.
I don't know about weekly. I can't do like 2 podcasts every week. I don't know about doing that, but yeah, every occasionally we'll throw in a Superstar series.
This is number one on Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do these single by myself sometimes.
Yeah, you can maybe do a couple by yourself sometime. I'll jump in whenever I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Brock turned heel, beat Kurt Angle at SummerSlam.
I love Lesnar's heel turn too. When he's bullying Zach Gallen. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Of course, he turned heel. He turned heel in that cage match, which was the first cage match that I ever saw. I know that when I mentioned the whole thing where Brock finally gets his revenge on Heyman in the cage, there was a cage match at the end of that night. I forget, it was Brock maybe against Kurt. I can't remember, but
yeah,
I did not see that night. I did not see that match because I had to go to sleep early that night. So I did not see that. The Lesnar Mr. McMahon cage match was the first cage match I ever saw, and that's where Brock turned heel.
Yeah.
I love the way they built that up that night too.
Brock would later restart his feud with The Undertaker. They had a biker chain match at No Mercy.
I am personally not a big fan of doing the pole matches as your main event. I'm not a fan of that. You can't really get the crowd invested until like whatever's on the pole gets taken down.
Whoa. Okay, folks, I have got to point out the hypocrisy in what he just said.
Hey, hold on. I said as main event. And second off, Vince Russo is not the man who created pole matches, and he didn't do them every freaking week like people make it out to be. Yes, he did them, a lot of them, And I'll tell you what, that Judy Bagwell on a forklift match that everybody loves to hate, that was middle of a pay per view, and that was very entertaining. If that, but I'm talking that like as a main event match, a pole match, I'm not crazy about it. I feel like you take away like half the match because
I just want to say,
until
I just want to say this. People look at me like I have turds hang out of my mouth, like I'm crazy, like I'm insane. When I say
because you are.
things, 1 second, because
We got falling in reverse.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey, it's Franklin.
Now, and again, to that point of Vince Russo pole matches, have I ever said Vince Russo's the greatest writer in the history of business because of pole matches? Have I ever said that, or have I said that because of his writing, the storylines, not the matches he writes, the storylines are why he was so great. The pole matches, like I said, the Judy Bagwell and forklift thing was entertaining. But when you take that and like make it the main event of a pay per view, which they didn't, again, it was middle of the show, but that is like the main event for the title. That's not gonna work. But like I said,
Go ahead.
my opinion on that with pole matches, you take like the first half of the match, it's going to take some time for the crowd to get invested until they actually take down what is on the pole. And that's what I felt with this match. I wasn't crazy about it. I love the ending with Vince costing Undertaker the match. But yeah, otherwise, I wish I would have been something else. Like do a cage match or something better than a biker
They did
chain
Hell in
match.
a Cell, so you can't really go with the cage.
They did Hell in a Cell. Why? Well, you can do Cage. 1 year later, they did Hell in a Cell 2002. Why not do Cage 2003? It's two different matches right
Okay. He would go on to feud with Eddie Guerrero, where he would lose the WWE Championship at No Way Out 2004, setting off.
there. Well, you're skipping a lot of stuff. You just went from No Mercy 2003 all the way to No Way Out 2004. Hang on now. After No Mercy, you had first of all, you skipped over the Iron Man match too. 1 hour Iron Man match to
We got
where Brock
to get this video going though. I'm trying to get this video
Hey,
because my mom
we can do it.
too, so
Right,
I'm trying to.
right. So he beats Kurt Iron Man match. Then he goes to the feud with Undertaker. After that, he has the Survivor Series match. Opens the show. Brock, Team Lesnar, Team Angle. Was it Benoit or Angle? Somebody gets Brock
It
to
was,
tap out.
it was Team Angle. It was Kurt, Chris,
Yeah. Oh
C.
no. I'm saying. But who made Brock tap? I can't remember. I think it was Benoit or Angle. I
Okay.
think it was Benoit. It might have been Benoit because I think he had him in the crossface. And that was, of course, after SummerSlam. Angle made Brock tap at SummerSlam. Crowd started chanting, "You tapped out at Brock," so they had him tap out here to continue that. After Survivor Series, Raw had the pay per view in December. So at Royal Rumble, of course, Hardcore Holly made his memorable return. Well, not necessarily memorable, but he made his return from a memorable injury suffered at the hands of Brock. They had a match on SmackDown in September of 2002. Brock power bombed him, and the Hardcore landed
Wrong.
on his neck. Yeah, he landed on his neck. So that led to a small little feud with that, which actually started at Survivor Series. Holly was on that Team Angle.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the Royal Rumble, Hardcore Holly got his shot, which probably doesn't happen without that injury. Short little match, not much to say there. Brock retains. They move on, No Way Out. First pay per view I ever ordered. I'll never forget that night watching Eddie win the belt. Still brings emotions, man,
Oh, it
watching
was
that.
really cool that his family was there. His mom was in the audience. That's really cool.
I actually became an Eddie fan because I got invested watching that match live. The way they told the story with the demons and everything, you just wanted to see Eddie win. And I'll never forget jumping up and down when he hits the frog splash
Did you
one,
cry?
two, three. Yeah, I cry more nowadays when I think. Sometimes when you think about him passing, then you think about that match. We get more emotional at that. Especially when I watched his for the first time since '05. I actually watched the SmackDown where they honored him right after he passed away. You got Batista coming out with that promo, which was so emotional, and then he lays the belt on the low rider and his glasses. That was just, man, such an emotional show.
I I remember how I heard about the news. I was on WWE.com one day, and this
Yeah,
right before like his final SmackDown appearance, his final appearance on wrestling. Period. He took a chair shot to Mr.
yeah,
Kennedy, but he took a chair shot by Mr. Kennedy and just bashed him badly. Right? I was like, "Ooh, okay, right." So then a couple days later, I'm on WWE.com, and it says Eddie Guerrero has died, and in my mind, I'm thinking, "Oh shit, that's where they're taking this angle? He died?
right, right,
Like what?"
right. So,
Mean, that's a hell of a way to that's a hell of a
yeah,
time to take this, but okay, right?
yeah.
And all of a sudden
So,
you start
yeah,
seeing emotional tributes from all these wrestlers. And I'm like, these guys are way too emotional for this to be freaking scripted, right? Like
right,
they're legitimately crying and they're like bawling. Chavo is like barely together at that point. I'm like, what
yeah,
the fuck? And so I go and I look more into it, and I'm like, oh, he really died. Yo, what the hell? Right?
yeah,
And so
yeah,
I called my dad, and I'm like, "Dad, Eddie Guerrero died." And Dad's like, "That's not funny to joke about." I'm like, "No, I'm not kidding. He's dead. He died." And Dad's like, "Oh, damn." I didn't
yeah,
start crying until they did the tribute that Raw. I watched the
yeah,
tribute show on that Raw, and then all the wrestlers up on stage, and everybody was crying up on stage, and then it pans out to the people in the audience, and everybody in the audience is crying, and I'm like, "Oh god," and that hit me.
yeah.
Well, I'm like, and that's when I started going. I'm like,
So, yeah. So I didn't really have internet access at the time. Like there was internet in the house, but it's not like I had my own laptop, my own phone, what all the kids get today. I didn't really have that back then. So I wasn't able to like always check the internet. This was on a Sunday. There was no school, of course. The next day I get to school. One of my friends who's a big wrestling fan is like, bro, you hear Eddie Guerrero died? I'm like, man, stop it. He
"All right,
ain't died, bro. Stop joking. That's like, and then we get into a class. So we of course like had different teachers for every subject.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I can't remember if this was the first class of the day or whatever. But anyway, there's one guy. He's not a wrestling fan because he knows I'm a wrestling fan. The guy who told me Eddie died. Because so we're always at talking wrestling. He's always like, I ain't a fan of that. So
yeah, that's
we
fake."
walk up. Well, nah, he didn't really say that, but he just wasn't a fan. So we
Okay,
walk up to him. We walk up to him, and my friend is like, "You hear about Eddie Guerrero?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, the wrestler who died." I was like, "No, no.
yeah,
If he knows, then it's
yeah.
legit. He ain't joking with me. My friend ain't joking with me here. He's really gone. Wow, no way,
You cry?
man. Uh, maybe not at school. I can't remember honestly. I was definitely emotional.
Yeah,
Because this is got, like I said, at No Way Out '04, I had just become a big fan of him after seeing him win title. That whole summer, the feud with JBL, man, I freaking hated JBL because I loved Eddie Guerrero.
right.
Looking back, when JBL, again, I watched the tribute a few days ago because I've been watching '05 Raws. I mean, '05 SmackDowns, excuse me. But
Yeah,
when JBL started talking about the feud from that summer, I was like, man, good times, man. And that really was a tremendous feud. I hated JBL at the time. Now I love him. I love looking back at that summer. They had the match at Judgment Day, the Blood Fest.
yeah,
The Great American Bastards was the second pay per view I ever ordered, and then the cage match on SmackDown. That was just what a summer. And JBL was a true heel at that time, man. The shit he did, oh my gosh, it was tremendous. So
uh,
yeah, yeah.
getting back on Brock here, so he lost the title at No Mercy, or at No
No
Way
doubt, no doubt.
Out, and then he would go on to face Goldberg at WrestleMania 20. one of the most hated matches of all time, one of the worst matches of all time, worst WrestleMania matches of all time. Even Stone Cold can save the match. He left WWE the night he left WWE right after that. When I say right
It
after,
was it was all over the internet at the time, and you're in a spot today. No matter where you are, everybody in the crowd's gonna know about it.
yeah,
But back then, if you go to New York and there's some internet controversy, everybody's gonna know about it. So everybody knew Brock was leaving. I don't know if everybody knew about Goldberg, but his contract was up, so they probably figured he was leaving too. But most of the heat was on Brock,
if
and
you
then
guys
they
want,
stand there.
I'm just rubbing my seats here because they're
Right,
soft and it's just fun. Sorry.
right.
Uh, so if you see me just like
So
doing this, I'm just doing that. I'm just petting my bed because it's soft.
right. So they just stand there for like 5 minutes,
Yeah. And let the
what
crowd
feels
just
like an eternity, and the crowd's just booing the hell out of them. The part that's ashamed is when they actually started to work a match, the crowd actually got into it.
yeah,
But I mean, after you stand there for 5 minutes and it's like, let's do nothing because they're booing us, or at least they're booing me, which what Brock would say. So let's just stand here and give them a big fu. It's like,
yeah,
y'all could have tore the house down. That could have been match of the night, man. Just
yeah.
like what we saw later at WrestleMania 32 or 33. 33. What we saw at 33, they tore the house down that night. That was a phenomenal match. It may have been short. It didn't have to go long. It didn't have to be a 30-minute,
Exactly. That's not
It
what they do.
was,
They're big guys. They go out there, they destroy people, and that's that. Anyway,
and the crowd went nuts for it. This is what you could have got at WrestleMania 20 if they would have just said, look, who cares how they feel about us? Let's just, leave our mark. If this is the end for both of us, let's leave our mark and tear the garden down. And well, they decided they wanted to give a big fu.
yeah.
Which look, I'm somebody I don't understand booing certain New York crowds. I don't like New York crowds because I'm a fan of two New York sport teams, and I don't like our fan base for either of the teams. They're a bunch of jackasses. They boo their own players, which is ridiculous. And
Hey,
what?
I was going to say, hey, New York crowds.
They boo their own players because, hey, I pay their salary. I buy this ticket, which means I pay the salary. Yeah, your name ain't on the where it says you sign the contract or sign the paychecks. That's Steve Cohen's job. You don't pay nobody's salary. And look, hey, if you want to boo players, that's your prerogative. But to me, you ain't a fan of the team if you're going out there booing players. And the best thing about it, the guy they were booing last year, he's tearing it up right now. That's Francisco Lindor. They were booing him every time he stepped to the plate last year, and now they love him. Oh, now he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yeah, whatever.
Back to him.
That's only one of the reasons why New York sport fans annoy the hell out of me. But that's for another day. We can move on.
We're gonna speed run his current run because
Yeah.
we're just out of time. But
I
we're
don't
gonna,
know much. I can't talk too much about his current one, so
yeah,
we should speed
let's
run.
do it. He left in 2004. Came back in 2012, the night after.
I'll
Mania.
I'll never. Yeah,
Uh,
the WrestleMania 28. Yeah,
he attacked Cena. They had a match of Extreme Rules where I believe Cena won. I could be wrong.
yeah.
Cena won.
Yeah, I think so. Because I remember people being pissed off.
Yeah.
It's Brock Lesnar's first pay per view and he loses. But yeah, I remember the return like it was yesterday, man. Again, Brock Lesnar was my first favorite. It was a shame to see him go. And then of course I talked about it on the podcast a couple weeks ago. In 2005, there were rumors that on the website Lords of Pain, the dirt sheet website Lords of Pain, that he might show up at the Royal Rumble for 2005. And I was getting so excited. And then it never happened. And then he goes to UFC and it's like, damn, so he'll never return, huh? And then the rumors are coming back again leading up to WrestleMania 18 or 28. And it's like, oh my gosh, is it true this time? And then the night after WrestleMania, the music hits. and there he is, and I could not believe it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he's kept that song since he had it. Victoria's old theme that they was originally for her.
I remember when when WWE 12 came out for video games, and he
Yes.
was one of the unlockable characters, and I thought that was really really cool. I got to play as him. I unlocked him and I played as him, and that was really cool. Let's talk about what Brock is currently up to. He just lost to Roman Reigns this past WrestleMania. He lost
I'll be
to
watching that soon.
yeah. He spoiler alert. He
Oh,
lost.
I already knew that. I
Okay,
already knew that.
okay.
I don't like I said. I don't even care about spoilers, man.
He
I can
lost
still enjoy the show.
to Roman Reigns, uh, and so there you go. That is Brock's career for you, WWE career in a nutshell. And he's still in WWE as far as we know, still signed. He's just taking a break because that's what Brock does. He comes in and he goes away. Then he comes in and
I
goes.
love, I love. Again, since I watched WrestleMania Night One a couple days ago, I saw all the video packages for the matches from the whole card. So they showed the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns video package, even though it was Night Two. I love when Brock hopped into a forklift and actually drove it into a car that Roman was
Yeah,
in. That
his
brought back memories of Judgment Day 2003.
his feud with Roman was really really good. I loved it.
See, this is the thing. This is the thing about WrestleMania, man. WWE always seems to like, okay, we're gonna do our best right here. We're gonna give you tremendous
Everything.
storylines. Yeah, everything's gonna get built up the right way, and then after WrestleMania, it's like, yeah, we don't care anymore.
Right.
That's the way I feel. Because I was watching all those damn video packages, and I'm like, man, I should have been watching
You know
these
what?
Raws and Smackdowns leading up to this show.
If you know what, you're a fan of gimmicks, right? You like those gimmick match, you like those gimmicks and promo stuff. You don't care about your
Well, I like storylines. That's the thing. And like I've said,
you're going
storylines are more than just promos.
you're gonna love the Sami Zayn Johnny Knoxville match. That
I'm
match,
sure I will.
I feel like it will be right up your alley. And it was
I
funny because my brother-in-law came over to pick up his kids that day that me and my dad were watching the show.
yeah.
And my brother-in-law is not a wrestling fan at all. And we
Right.
were watching it out there on the big screen TV. And they had the Johnny Knoxville Sami Zayn match, and my brother-in-law walks in the house. She's like, "Is that Johnny Knoxville?" Like, yeah, he's having a wrestling match against Sami Zayn. He's like, oh. He stopped dead in his tracks and watched the entire match. And as the match was progressing, he was saying, "Oh shit, that's the party guy. Oh, that's a wee man. Oh, that's this guy. Oh, that's that guy. Oh, that's a giant mousetrap. Oh, that's a giant hand. What the hell?" He was laughing at the match and its stupidity.
Yeah.
Oh, you really can do because that match had a lot of stupidity in it, but it
I,
was entertaining and it was hilarious and it was a good match.
I remember hearing about it as WrestleMania was coming up, and it sounded like it was a really entertaining little build there, and I can't wait to watch the match. That's one of the night two matches I'm
You're gonna
excited
love
for.
it. I promise you're gonna love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Anyway, folks,
So, do we have time to discuss this Rock Roman thing that was going on in the chat earlier?
let's
Since you said,
save that for Friday.
okay, for
Let's save
Friday, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the very first episode of the Superstar Series match. The Superstar.
Just called the Superstar Series.
Okay, fine. That's going to do it for the very first episode of the Superstar Series. You're going to have a heck of a time editing this video, my friend. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button once again. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell when you hit the subscribe button so you get notified when we upload new content. We upload new content weekly. We're going to be live on Friday to discuss WWE.
The SmackDown after 9/11.
We go. Mine's a little bit blank. My bad. So, till Friday, that's Frank. That is me. Those are our Twitter handles. Follow us both on Twitter. We're very entertaining folks on Twitter. We'll see you Friday, folks. We out. Deuces.